8 simple daily practices you can do to raise your vibrational frequency to that of love, gratitude, and abundance. Welcome back to another video. I'm Maximilian and I help entrepreneurs reprogram their mind, rewire their lives for happiness, success, abundance, fulfillment and confidence. You name it, I do it. And I'm here to explain how you can raise your vibe. Your vibration is the most important thing. We are energy. We are made up of energy. And also, where focus goes, energy flows. So if you're focusing on these high vibrational things and you're focusing on putting yourself into a high vibrational state, your energy is going to go to a high vibrational state. Now, atoms, and this is on a scientific level, I read this in Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, that atoms are made up of 99.999999% energy, so actually, theoretically, they are empty space. Whereas before, they were thought, as in physics, to be solid. They were thought as to be matter. Whereas now they're proven to be energy. So, if they're physically energy, everything's energy. It's just a different frequency. For example, my wallet is a different frequency to my shirt, to me, to my phone. Everything is a different type of energy, and that is why we resonate on different energies. That is why we can feel especially in certain ways. And that is why things take a different form. Different materials are different types of energy and they vibrate at different frequencies. That is why they create that type of matter. So, how are we made up of energy? We are made up of moving particles. If you zoom in deep enough on a microscope, you'll see we are made up of moving particles. But together it creates us as matter. And this is where we can choose our vibrational frequency and what we attract. Now, have you ever seen someone who is always extremely negative? What happens in their life? More of what they can be negative about. Now think of someone who is extremely positive, the most positive person you know. Have they ever randomly won lottery tickets, like not maybe jackpots, or just won a few £100s, a few £1,000s? Have they randomly got given something? Did they get out of a parking ticket? And they seem to be very lucky. Now, luck is just realistically a vibrational frequency of someone to say, I just am lucky. I just am. And the way that I like to use this in terms of gratitude, imagine if you were speaking to a waiter and you didn't say thank you once. Is that waiter going to do all they can to make sure that you feel at home in that place? Probably not. But if you do all that you can, say thank you, and you're appreciating them, you're tipping them, you're showing your gratitude, they're going to do way more for you. Look at the universe as your waiter. Realistically, it's you are the universe, but look at it as your waiter. It is here as your waiter to serve you, if you use it correctly. And if you're using gratitude, it's going to serve you in the most powerful way. So how do we expand our vibrational frequency to that of gratitude, love, enlightenment? And I'm going to put the chart on here about power versus force and the different frequencies that you can go through in order to reach either enlightenment, or if you're down all the way at the bottom, down at shame. So from the book Power versus Force, courage to enlightenment is power, whereas pride all the way down to shame is force. So you can choose to either live in your power, or you can choose to live against force. And we have that choice. All we have to do is raise our vibration. Now I'm going to explain 8 vibrational raising activities that you can do every single day that realistically don't take much of your time up, but they will have a huge dramatic impact on how you feel within yourself. And again, as we know, feelings attract what we become in life. When you think something, you feel it, you're powering your intention with feeling, you are therefore becoming a higher vibrational state if you are focusing that of higher vibrations. Whereas if you are feeling angry and you are thinking angry thoughts, you're going to go into a negative state of mind. And when you feel something like anger, that can actually deregulate all of your genes and allow you to cause stress. And what this does, it turns on the fight or flight response and doesn't allow you to live in a place of creation, more in a place of survival. If you're living in a place of survival, you're never going to get exactly what you want in life because you're constantly running in that run, fight or flight. And you're running away from something rather than being drawn towards something. When you're in that place of creation, everything seems amazing. And that is when you're living in power. So the first one I want you to understand is eating high vibrational foods. Max, what are high vibrational foods, you may be asking? Anything that is natural, anything that is organic, and anything that has a lot of colour. Fruit, vegetables, anything that's grown. Anything that is man-made isn't really that good for you. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not just, like, I'm vegan, so I eat a very healthy diet, but I don't just eat plants. I do have chocolate, and it's actually quite good for you, dark chocolate, things like that. I personally find vegan chocolate, but I do have other things. I do have popcorn, I do have crisps. I do also eat those type of processed things, but I try to stick to a predominantly colourful diet, because the more fruit and vegetables you are eating, the higher your vibration is going, because it is matching that of the plants. It is matching that of Mother Earth. What is born, what is made. And even if you look at plants as well, for example, an avocado actually resembles a fetus inside a mother. And there's many other fruits and vegetables out in nature that resemble humans, that resemble life. What is life? It is that of exactly the same. Life is just everything. Life is here. What we're doing right now is life. That is what life is. And nature expresses itself in similar ways to the way that we are born, to the way that we grow. Even trees, they need to be nourished in order to grow. If we want to grow physically, we need to nourish our body to grow. If we want to grow mentally, we need to nourish our mind with content, material to grow. It all works in the same way. So rather than eating man-made and processed foods, we need to stick to that of a higher vibrational diet. Which leads me on to my second point, and the second one is drinking more filtered water. Now, I only drink filtered or bottled water, for the reason being I like my water to be cleaner. Now, there is chemicals in water that they put in there to keep it fresher rather than being dirty water, but I never drink tap water. I always drink filtered water or bottled water. Reason being, it's just much cleaner. It's much cleaner, as we are made up of roughly 53% water. So even when you take, for example, the way that the moon moves, when the moon goes through cycles, it naturally affects water levels. This is why when there's a full moon, it can naturally affect humans, because we are made up of so much water. But if we are made up of water, it makes sense to nourish ourselves with what we are made up of. So drink more water, reduce those fizzy drinks, reduce the sugary drinks. You don't need that much. Now, my diet pretty much is just water. I don't really drink much else. And I've noticed so much difference in my health, my mind, and it's really impacted me ever since I've been drinking so much filtered water. The third step is meditation. I prefer self-hypnosis, and I will link to the video of self-hypnosis if you want to understand how self-hypnosis works. And if you want a session, feel free to send me a message on Instagram and we can go through that. But meditation is something that allows you to clear your mind. You clean your teeth every single day, do you not? Why? Because you want to look good. Do you want to feel good? And the reason you're on this video, I'm going with yes. If you want to feel good, we need to clear this. We need to clean it, just like a toothbrush for the mind. Meditation is the toothbrush for the mind, essentially. And the word meditation actually means to become familiar with. To become familiar with us. To become familiar with you, with me. We need to become familiar with me. If I don't know who I am, how can I best help myself? I can't. So we need to become familiar with ourselves and understand that we can clean our minds. We have that ability. What it comes down to is, are we setting aside time every day in order to do this? I personally like to meditate 2 to 3 times a day. That's my preference. I never started that way. I started with doing it a couple of times a week. Then I began to see the benefits. Then I started doing it every day, and now I've done it twice a day for the past couple of years. And I've seen huge shifts in my life. Also, I get a lot of my good ideas. It allows me to connect more spiritually when I meditate, and I'm allowing to even speak to my higher self, speak to guides, and really understand why I'm going through specific things in my life. Because I always see everything that I'm going through as a lesson. What can I learn from this? When I take it to my higher self, I'm not looking at it from judgment. I'm looking at it from complete consciousness. I'm looking at it from my higher self. And that's where I start to connect, and I start to figure out more of my problems and understand them to a deeper level. Number 4, express more gratitude. We need to be grateful. And gratitude is the highest state of receivership. So if we can be more grateful every single day, again, going back to that waiter analogy, if we're showing gratitude to the waiter, it's going to give us a better service. If we're showing gratitude for what the universe has given us, it's going to give us a better service. Notice every single person that you know that is completely negative, that hates life, that hates themselves, do they express 1 ounce of gratitude for what they do have? And a lot of them, they do have homes. They do have phones. They do have the ability to work if they want to. Or they can even be on benefits. Some people don't even have the luxury of that. Think of countries that physically don't have that luxury to even have anything like benefits, don't have anything like the ability to have a job, don't have anything like the ability to drink clean water. Some people can't even see. We need to change our perspective and be grateful for the little things. When you start to be grateful for the little things and appreciate, when you trade your expectations for appreciations, as Tony Robbins said, your life changes in that instant because you don't expect everything to be perfect. You appreciate the perfection in everything. Number 5, spend time in nature. Going back to sort of the food one, we are nature. We are part of human nature. We are nature. That's it. We need to spend more time outside. Notice this. Every time it gets to cold season, flu season, corona season. Okay, corona season's a different one because that's a pandemic. Don't even want to get into that right now. But when it gets to cold season, flu season, it tends to be in the colder times. Why? Because we are not physically connected to the outside. Think about all the times you go on holiday. Do you ever get a cold? I don't think I've ever had a cold on holiday. Ever. Reason being is because you're so connected to nature. You are physically grounded. Your feet are on the floor. At the minute, as I work from home, and when I'm walking around, I'm always walking in barefoot at the minute because it's really hot. I can go and stand on the grass, and I love to do that. Spend time at beaches, spend time in parks, in the woods, in the forest, wherever's most comfortable for you. My preference is beaches. I love beaches, and I spend a lot of time there. So find your perfect place in nature and spend more time in nature, because also it gives you a little energy boost, and I love nature. Number 6. Find high vibrational people that you can resonate with, that you can conversate with, that aren't draining your energy. You do not want drains. You do not want energy vampires in your life. And if you do, you have to assess that. That's down to you to make those decisions. I've made my decisions in my life, and I've chose to step away from people that did tend to drain my energy. Doesn't mean they're bad people. Doesn't mean that I'm better than them, because I'm not. I'm exactly the same as them. My vibration mattered to me, and I was more self-aware to say I can't be around that because that's draining me. And that's just how it works. When you start to open up more spiritually, you become more susceptible to people's energy. If they're draining your energy, it will be drained much faster. You are very sensitive as well to their energy. You're very sensitive to other people, which allows you to be pulled down rather than them being pulled up. And it's actually much harder to pull someone up than it is to be pulled down. That's why people will pull down easier. So assess your circle and find people that you can vibe with, that you can higher vibe with. If you can't do that right now, find people on social media. We have every ability to do so now. There's really no excuses. And if you can't find people on social media, what's the next step? And this is the step that I had to take, because I physically couldn't get around people. I didn't know anyone on social media. So I started listening to audiobooks, reading books, watching and consuming content that was positive, that was empowering, that allowed me to feel great about myself. And I did also explain this in a video about how you can reprogram your subconscious mind very easily without any effort. And I will link in this video here if you want to go and watch that. But essentially, if you can't get around people, get around them virtually. If you can't do that, listen to these people that are at the top of their game. I physically have conversations with Tony Robbins. I don't speak to him, I consume the stuff that he says to me. I physically have conversations with Joe Dispenza. I don't speak to him, but I consume the stuff that he writes, says, and creates. When you start to listen and consume it, you become it. Number 7. Find things that you can do that you just lose time. Time just goes and you truly love it. That's called passion and purpose, my friends. That's called passion and purpose. What is it that you do and time just stops? You've been doing it for 5 minutes and time just feels like no, you've been doing it for 2 hours and time feels like it's been 5 minutes. What is that one thing that you can do? If you don't know that right now, this is your homework. Find someone who you truly admire, the process of what they do every day, not the outcome, the process. We can want an outcome. It's very easy to want to be a billionaire. Do you want to do the process, what it takes to become a billionaire? That's a different story. What is the process that this person takes every single day? Would you genuinely enjoy that? And this is where I always recommend to look up to people that you're inspired by. I look at people like Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza. I would love to do what they do every single day. That's why I do it. I'm not at their level yet, but I understand that it's a process. It's going to take me steps in order to get to where I want to be. So I need to do content. I need to do the modern day version of what they did. Rather than doing seminars, which isn't actually possible right now due to coronavirus, I'm doing content. I'm working it in my personal way and doing it in the best way possible for me. And quite frankly, I'm happy to work 7 days a week because I genuinely enjoy what I do. My work has now become my job. Originally it was a side hustle. Originally it was a hobby. Now it's my job, and I genuinely love it. Woo! And the 8th and final step is be more present in the moment. What is being present? Just appreciating your surroundings. Just being here. This can tie in very well with going out in nature. Going out in nature, just chilling, and you can have meditation, you can have some high vibe foods with some high vibe people, you can add these all together. But when you start being more, rather than doing more, your vibration naturally rises. And where do we want to get to? Peace, joy, love, enlightenment. That's where we're aiming for. And if you're watching this video, you're clearly the type of person that wants to get to that enlightenment. You want to get to that high vibrational state of being every single day. And I'm with you on that. What it takes is the work. It doesn't just happen. We still have to raise our vibration. We still have to become the person that we need to be in order to do that. And how does it work best? Being. If you move from thinking to doing, you're taking action on your desires. If you move from thinking to doing to being, not only are you moving and taking action on your desires, you are naturally that person that attracts that type of stuff. So you can work ridiculously hard for 25 years and get to that place that you want to be. Or you can also work equally as hard, but attract more and allow it to attract faster into your life. Prank call. So there are high vibrational activities that you can take part in every single day in order to raise your vibe, in order to become the person you want to be, and in order to grow into happiness, into love, into joy, into enlightenment. That's really all it takes. It's doing these habitually. When you start to add these into your daily routines, you naturally begin to raise your vibe, and you go to that last state of being. You just become. And when you become it, you are it. And that's when it attracts to you. Because everything is energy, and energy is everything. So when you move to that state of being, you are raising your vibe every single day. I hope this video has given you some inspiration, information, and has given you the ability to learn something new. If it has, or if you've got any questions, comment down below. What was your favourite one? What is something that you do already? What is something that you are going to do more of? If you've got any questions at all, either leave a comment below or send me a message. I'll be more than happy to help. Find me on Instagram. But I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Keep spreading love, kindness, and so much positivity.